If you love Name Explain, and I know you do, then why not support the channel on Patreon? Just $1 a month grants you access to info on the latest videos, your name in the video description, and a warm feeling inside, knowing you are helping one of your favourite YouTubers. Seriously guys, if just a fraction of the people who watch this video donated $1 a month, I could do this as a full-time career with peace of mind. On with the video. In ancient Egypt, people communicated through pictures with meaning and everyone worshipped cats. And I'm definitely talking about ancient Egypt and not the internet. And while we all now know this land of pyramids, sphinx and hound-headed gods as Egypt, the civilization who lived on this land in the past didn't call it Egypt. During the Old Kingdom of Egypt, the country was simply called this, which is now pronounced as Kemet or Kermit, but it's believed that in ancient times it was pronounced Kumat, though what do I know about pronunciation? This name comes from the ancient Egyptian language, which eventually evolved into the Coptic language of Egypt until it was phased out by Arabic, which is the official language of the country today. This name of Kemet means the Black Land, the black in the Black Land referring to the rich soil found around the Nile River. However, this wasn't the only name for the land in the Old Kingdom. Another name for the country was this, pronounced Desert, meaning the Red Lands, in reference to the deserts that comprise a huge amount of Egypt. But of course, these names weren't spelt like I have just spelt them in the Latin alphabet. One of the things the ancient Egyptians are most famous for are of course their hieroglyphs, and the name KMT is the phonetic value that we have given to the land's name from its hieroglyphic spelling. Now, hieroglyphs are super interesting, but unfortunately I'm not quite literally the Rosetta Stone, so this won't be a complete history and understanding of hieroglyphs, though someone should make that video. They can be split into two main groups. Ideogram hieroglyphs are single symbols that represent a whole object or idea. In example, the glyph of a pair of legs is an ideogram that means movement. The name KMT, however, isn't a single ideogram but a collection of phonograms. These are glyphs that represent single consonant or a combination of consonants. While we have some glyphs that supposedly represent vowel sounds, it's believed that the Egyptians didn't write vowels, so that's why we aren't 100% sure on how KMT was pronounced. Like I said, I'm no Rosetta Stone. So Kemet in hieroglyphs is this, with this part being a glyph of crocodile scales, meaning black and being pronounced phonetically as the KM sound in English. The owl is also a phonogram for the M sound, and the bread loaf is a phonogram for the T sound. However, the circle with a cross in it represents a town with crossroads. Egyptians used this to represent the name for a town or city. Later, Egyptians called their country this, which means house of the Ka of Ptah. Ptah is one of the earliest gods of Egypt, and the actual name of Egypt comes from this name. It was the ancient Greeks' adaptation of this name as Aegyptus, which they use as the name of an Egyptian king. The huge difference between these names is due to the fact that it's thought the Greeks struggled with the pronunciation of the letter H at the start and end of the original Egyptian name, and it's from this Egyptian name to this Greek name to the English name that we know it as today. However, the name Egypt isn't even used in Egypt all that much. As I said earlier, the country's official language is now Arabic, and the Arabic name for the country is Misr. It's thought that this name comes from the ancient term Mizraim. It is believed the name Misr just means country, but it's also believed it could mean fortress in reference to Egypt's natural protective borders. Egypt has always been a country of mystery. The mystery of how the pyramids were built, the mystery of what the hieroglyphs meant. And while what the ancient Egyptians called Egypt may not be the biggest mystery the land has to offer, I think it's still pretty exciting. I think this video actually makes me the Brendan Fraser of YouTube now.